that being said, I want to move forward. Let's talk about New England here and go right into it with Jimmy. I mean, New England having history with Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously, won 2 Super Bowls there as a backup, backing up Tom Brady.
Mhm.
Picked him in the second round. Belichick likes this guy. Belichick didn't want to trade him. At that point, there was rumors that Belichick wanted to let go of Brady and keep Garoppolo. Garoppolo was going to be his guy. He built an offense for Garoppolo,
Mhm.
right? And it obviously didn't work out. He had to ship him out. Apparently, Robert Kraft nixed the whole thing, right? Belichick shipped him off for a second round pick to the 49ers. So a reunion like that, New England set themselves up great because they don't have a lot of resources poured into the quarterback position. Cam Newton's contract is full of incentives and it's not huge and it's a 1 year deal. You're not married
Mhm.
or tied to him. Jarrett Stidham has 2 years left and he's on his rookie deal. So at this point, you have the opportunity to go and get Jimmy, the guy that you wanted, the guy that you like, and bring him back. But does he want to do that? My question is, he's a little bit damaged goods. It's going to have to be a quarterback competition. But does Belichick try to late round, maybe a fourth rounder, third rounder for Jimmy, and still move up in the draft and try to get a quarterback and trade with the Atlanta Falcons at 4? I don't see a trade with the Jets at number 2, not with New England.
Mm-mm.
They're not going to hand that over to. They're going to make him overpay at least 4 first round picks, and Belichick's not going to do that. But
That's AFC East, bro.
yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's not happening.
But Atlanta doesn't really need a quarterback, and they can trade back now.
Mhm.
They're they're in a perfect position to trade back. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think about that?
Oh, it's tough. I mean, I honestly don't. And part of me thinks that Belichick might actually want him back. There's a big part of me, and it's because he knows how Garoppolo ticks, right? So seeing as he already knows, we everyone knows what happens when Belichick got you figured out.
Right.
He makes you a superstar. He brings other people around you to make you better. You know what I mean? So I honestly, with the way that Bill just does things, I wouldn't doubt it at all. I wouldn't doubt him bringing Garoppolo on and saying, you know what? I know we got Cam Newton. I know we got Stidham. And guess what? You're most likely going to have to compete for your spot because we were originally going to give it to Cam Newton and you might have to compete for it. But, and also you're injury prone. But you know what? Let's just take you on. What else we got to lose at this point? We don't. We're stuck at the quarterback position, which is the main spot, main position. You know what I mean? So at that point, if they do take him on, I don't see them going for a quarterback in the draft. I don't see it. I see them potentially trying to beef up their defense. Then at that point, um, and maybe taking on a cornerback, or possibly even maybe a D line or something like that. You know what I mean? Something to just beef up our defense, make our defense just a little bit better. You know, um, and so like I said, if we were to take it on, then I don't see that happening. I don't see us picking up a quarterback. But it would be so exciting to see. In all honesty, it would be exciting to see Jimmy G back with the Pats, just because within his starting within his starting stint with us, with the Pats, it was phenomenal. He did a great job,
He got injured after what?
and then he got injured.
Wait, after the second game? Listen, I'm with you. I like Jimmy. Okay, Jimmy. He makes some nice throws. He has a quick release. I think that's the best thing about Jimmy Garoppolo. He has a fast release. He is a bit mobile.
Hmm.
Okay, but he's just injury prone, right? And we have to have that next man up mentality when it comes to Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah,
Jimmy has the looks. He's got a great look to him, right?
yeah,
Uh, Quick release, great look.
yeah.
dating models, you think he's Tom Brady.
Mhm.
The fact of the matter is he's not. He's
Yeah, I
not
know.
Tom Brady. I think McDaniels does like Jimmy. Great. He can probably run his offense like a pro, but the best ability is availability. And with him being injury prone, I,
Preach.
I'm not sure about that, man. Yeah,
Preach.
it's just one of those things where why not? Why not trade up, and grab your guy? One thing about New England, being a New England fan my whole entire life, watching Belichick sign free agents or trade for guys that are washed up on other teams and then kind of like reinvent their career, right? Kind
Yep.
of brings them back into life. But I want to see him for a change take a gamble and get your guy. I remember when he traded up, got Chandler Jones and Dante Hightower both in the first round. He
Mhm.
went and he got their guy, right? He got his guys. I would like to see him do that again. First round picks in the next, couple drafts, whatever. N'Keal Harry was not a great pick in the first round when DK Metcalf was still there, and so was AJ Brown.
Mm.
You know what I'm
For
saying?
I forgot about that
Oh,
too.
it stings. It stings.
Oh.
It hurts, man. And then you got two tight ends that you drafted last year, and then you go sign two new tight ends because you said, "Hey, I messed up." You know what I mean? We need those tight ends. This is how we're going to run our offense, and those guys aren't cutting it.
Mhm.
Belichick's drafting has not been great. If you remember wide receiver Chad Jackson, please. No, who remembers that? Nobody remembers that. New England fans remember that. It's a terrible pick. He didn't pan out. So many
Yep.
whiffs. So many whiffs. Remember when we took Jordan Richards in like the second round?
Yep.
It was mind-boggling. That didn't work out either. It's time to use our draft capital and get our guy like everybody else is doing. We built a team that we don't really have many holes to fill in the draft. There's a lot of depth in this draft for wide receiver. We don't have to spend it in the first round. I would
Yep.
like to see New England actually gamble a little bit, trade what needs to be traded. You're going to have to overpay, whatever. Call Atlanta, see what they want for number 4. Maybe it happens on draft day to see if their guy is still on the board at quarterback. And if they like him, then they trade with Atlanta up to 4.
Mhm.
But I would love to see it.
I completely agree with you. It's gonna be this draft is gonna be interesting because we all know how Belichick does it, and a lot of teams actually do it. They do the trades on draft day, as the draft is going on. So and he's done that many a times. And again, I agree with you. He's hasn't been the greatest when it comes to making draft choices as to players, and we've had a good amount of busts. Not really anything that was too crazy, but we've also got some gold mines. You know what I mean? Um, One of the things that I wanted to just quickly address, as far as since we're on the topic of the draft picks and whatnot. So for this year, for 2021, New England's draft picks, all right, for what rounds they have and whatnot. So just so everyone can keep in perspective of what we have available to us, to the Pats, to trade up and just to try and get our guy. You know what I mean? So first round is pick 15. Um, Second round is pick 15 in the second round. And then third round, pick 33. Or I'm sorry, 46 in the second round. 46 in the second round. Round three is 96. Now we only have one in round one in round two, and one in round three, right? We have three picks in round four. We have 120, 122, and 139. Now, um, let's just say we wanted to get higher up in the draft. Give up some round fours. Give up some round fours. We already got three. We don't need. I mean, we could use three. Yeah, sure, but we want our guy. That's our main priority right now. We want the guy that's going to lead us. Give up some round fours and try and get us and maybe give up your first round pick for that to try and get further into the first round.
Well, the problem is with fourth round picks is that the value doesn't really equate to a first round pick moving up in the first round.
Or get a second round pick, throw the second round their way.
Well, you're gonna have to get up to 4 to Atlanta's spot, you're gonna have to give up future first round picks because
Yeah,
they everything is based off analytics now. And with the
yeah,
analytics and the value, what kind of value player you can get for those rounds, it has to add up. And
true.
you're gonna have to overpay a bit to get Atlanta out that spot. So they're gonna have to give future first round picks. Whatever.
Yeah, that's
Listen,
what I'm saying.
Bill, whatever, Bill. Like, listen, you've made some great draft choices and you made some terrible draft choices. It's time now to go and get our guy. I don't We have no future at quarterback right now because
Yeah.
Cam Newton's pretty much this is his tryout year. Everyone said last year was his tryout year. Belichick liked what he saw. Okay. He recognized we had a lot of opt-outs
Mhm.
and you didn't have a lot of weapons on offense. So this year he loaded the team, completely loaded, spent the most money in free agency and got every hole filled that they needed to get filled and said, Cam, here are the keys. Okay. And let's see how you do this year. And this is his tryout. Now, if Cam Newton balls out, he's 31 going on 32. He's a young guy, still in his prime. If he can still show that he can be healthy, he still has zip on that ball, quick release, still has fresh legs, then fine. But if he can't, and we whiffed on a quarterback on this draft, next year's draft does not look great for quarterbacks.
Mhm.
The year to draft a quarterback is right now, especially
Yep.
for New England.
Yeah, we can't sit here and we can't be greedy. We can't the Patriots can't afford to be greedy right now. Um, we're buying time right now, and that's what it comes down to. And let's be real here. Belichick only got so many years left. I mean, granted, he might still have his hands in the pot, even though he's retired at one point. He might still have his hands in the pot. We don't know, but still, we're buying time at this point. We already lost our star quarterback, Tom Brady, which I can't really say it stung, but it was bittersweet. You know, it was the end of the Patriot Tom Brady era. Um, but at the end of the day, what it comes down to is us trying to get that guy back, trying to get somebody that we can depend on and have that reliability. And that's one of the things that we were lacking in last year. And yes, granted, we had a lot of opt outs. And I think that's what made last year, I feel kind of like a fluke because so many teams had opt outs. So many teams had opt outs. And, but it is what it is with that. But I mean, we we are lacking that reliability within that position, and that position needs it the most. That's the guy that your running back, when he's dead tired, is gonna look at and be like, "Who's this guy? Like, I don't trust him. He's not gonna give me the ball, so I'm just gonna run a lazy route. He ain't getting me the ball." But that's the guy that everyone looks to and is like, "Hey, like, what are we doing? Like, you gonna give me this ball? You gonna get it to me?"
Well,
Like,
and I think Cam Newton can do that.
oh yes,
I
yes,
think Cam Newton can lead a locker room, and
you're right.
he
You're
led a
right.
locker room in 2015 all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yep, and you're right. But the thing is, reliability, reliability also comes with consistency. And
That's
that
right.
was the problem.
Right.
Consistency.
I
And
mean,
he was
his play after COVID. Let's be honest. His When he came back from COVID, he was terrible.
yeah.
He looked lost. He wasn't going through his reads. I don't know what he was seeing out there. There was a lot of missed throws, open receivers. I'm not gonna lie. N'Keal Harry was open on a lot of routes. Totally threw it to the defender. He looked lost. He looked great in the first few games.
Yeah.
After COVID, he didn't look right. So this next year should be good. I'm worried about the zip on his throws, his downfield. Because Cam Newton, one thing about Cam Newton, love to use the tight end. Which is great. We're gonna use a tight end. They might dink and dunk with Cam Newton and then do RPOs. But Cam Newton's best throws were always deep passes. He was
Look
a
at the
deep ball
players that
thrower.
he had. Look
Yeah,
at the players he had. He had Curtis Samuel.
yeah.
Curtis Samuel's a big body, and dude, that
He's
dude's
fast.
fast.
He's
He
fast.
is so fast. You catch him on a straightaway, and I don't care if you're Richard Sherman. I don't care if you're. It doesn't matter. Like he's fast. He's their number one.
Right. Well, they brought in Nelson Aguilar. He's a
Yeah,
speedster.
yeah,
So we'll see what his downfield throws look like.
yeah.
But I'm not sure. I have to see what Cam Newton is going to show this year. But I'm not sold. I'm not sold on Cam Newton yet. And if we're not sold on Cam Newton, you can't give me Jarrett Stidham, Cam Newton, and possibly bring in an injury-prone player like Jimmy Garoppolo and say we're not going to get a quarterback in the draft, and then we have no options at quarterback. You can't put this team together that you put together, which is primed for a young quarterback that's going to be on a rookie deal for the next 4 years because you spent all this money everywhere else. They need a
Mhm.
quarterback that's going to be young and on a rookie deal because they spent so much money.
And also it's the fact that you gotta mold that quarterback. You know what I mean? You gotta mold him. You gotta let him be around some of these veterans and that can guide him and show him like, hey, don't do this, don't do this, do this. This is gonna help you. Try and do this. Because we don't need another incident like how many times it's happened so far, like with quarterbacks that come in and they're a rookie and they end up being the starter just because hey we spent a pretty good amount of money on you, so I guess you're the starter now, and they start and then
Jamarcus
literally
Russell. Jamarcus
they're
Russell.
literally in for like a season, bro.
What? Jamarcus Russell ate himself out of the NFL, man. Jamarcus Russell ended up looking like his left tackle. He was huge. He was
But
huge. He didn't have
like
that guidance. I get what you're saying.
But you know what I mean? You have those veterans that can back you up, and guide you where you need to go, so that way you don't end up getting eaten by the wolves. You know what I mean? Because being in the NFL, I can't sit here and say that I know what it's like to be in the NFL, but I can only imagine, that it's like playing any other sports. You and I both play sports, so we know how it's like. To play sports and be in that locker room and be around people that actually know what they're doing and that are either all state or just very good at playing the game. You know what I mean? So that plays a huge difference as far as like the mentality of a rookie quarterback. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, yeah. You need that veteran presence and having a quarterback locker room or a quarterback room with Cam Newton in it is, I think it's great for a young quarterback, especially the mobile ones that they have in this
Hmm.
draft. Cam Newton is definitely a leader among men. I won't take that away from Cam Newton, and I think that he can help a young quarterback mold into what they need to be. But you're not going to sell me this.